Let's see. What should I do today? Get my tonsils scraped or interview Jason Amherst for episode 5 of The Performers I Know? Tonsils, Jason. Tonsils, Jason. I think we know the answer to this. Episode 5 of The Performers I Know coming at you! These are the performers I know, I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know, I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know, I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know, I know. These are the performers I know. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Performers I Know, episode number 5. That's right, we got to a full hand, everybody. Isn't that wonderful? Pretty soon, we'll be starting on the other hand. This week, in the studio, well, all the way from Studio Unstable, Massachusetts, lovely, lovely place to be in, is my guest this evening, my very good friend, wonderful human being, great impressionist and voice actor, Mr. Jason Amherst is here. Jason, welcome to the show.
I'm very honored to be here.
Oh yes. This week's episode is sponsored by um well, we really don't have a sponsor. Hey, so YouTube, if you can hook me up with like Skillshare or Audible or Honey
Raid
or
Shadow Legends.
Raise Shadow Legends or Fortnite Battle Royale or Squarespace or Crash Plan or Elgato or Lynda.com or Synergy or FreshBooks Cloud Accounting or NordVPN,
Rocket Money,
Rocket Money, the
the
Dollar
Opera
Shave.
GX.
Yeah, any of those will do. I'm not picky. For those of you who don't get the joke, that's like this YouTube starter pack sponsorship thing. Oh, good Lord. So, once upon a time, several years back, Mr. Jason Amherst was a guest on the Mental Cast and other assorted projects that Michael Riley did. Michael Riley, who was in our very first episode. Hope everybody was watching that. Actually, to be quite honest, Jason, I don't quite remember how you found out about the Mental Cast.
I
What?
was Rick Terrassi, actually.
Oh yes, yes, our very good friend Rick Rossi. Yes.
Yeah.
So Jason appeared, and it started a very wonderful partnership. We're a very wonderful human being. Now, as Jason isn't a theater performer per se, much like Michael Riley. He has performed before, but just not necessarily on a grand stage. He does a lot of voice acting and a lot of cosplay and a lot of so. But my question, Jason, is how did you get bitten by the? I'll put it as the performance bug or the voice acting bug, as it were.
Well, it's funny because growing up, I listened to a lot of I had those kids' books that came with the audio accompaniment on cassette tape. So of course, I had a lot of those, and then you know, a lot of kids shows had like their audio tie-ins, like Tiny Toons had like a music cassette, and I think there might have been a CD, but I had the cassette back in the day because I didn't have a CD player. One of my favorite toys growing up actually was a Fisher Price cassette recorder. that had like a built-in microphone, actually.
I have one of those.
Yeah, and it's just funny. Like, it's one of those core memory unlocked type deals when you realize that like one of your favorite toys growing up was a freaking microphone. You know?
Well,
And and like then high school, I was a straight A student through middle school. I was bored with academia, and I discovered that the arts were more challenging because the arts are subjective. You can't grade an art, man. You know,
it's the
so
message,
facts
man.
facts are yes and no. They are cut and dry. So once you've learned everything that you can learn, what's left to learn? It's boring. But art, on the other hand, now that's a challenge. And I just got drawn to, at the time, theater. And I just kind of went nuts from there.
Yes. Now, a lot of it, I believe, I would suspect, has to do with your love of anime. Now, you see, here's the thing, folks. Jason knows a lot about anime. I know nothing about it. So Jason has this fun little thing that he does where he'll tell me about an anime, and it's like, oh, hey, Dane, I was just watching this anime about a sentient basketball that comes to life and beats up school kids. Like, what? Are you? Is this for real? Are you kidding me? So, we
I
played this.
wish I could make up such insane things like a sentient basketball. Like I will legit tell you about these things because like they are some of the most bizarre things I have ever watched. And I love to catch your reactions on it because it's just like because my reaction is usually what did I just watch?
Well, he'll Jason will tell me these things, and I'll just be like, wait, what? Did you say a sentient vending machine that just sits
Nani?
there? Yeah, yes. We have a soundboard today, courtesy of Jason. So that this is the first special effects we've had for the show. Of course, see that Elgato sponsorship has gone us somewhere, hasn't it? Please, YouTube, please get me a sponsor. But so Jason started doing a lot of voiceover stuff. And what drew you to doing like voiceovers and impressions? Was it just the love of your silky smooth buttery voice, or was it something else?
So a lot of people like my voice actually, and a lot of people encourage me to do voiceover. Um, Good friend of mine actually, who used to do a music project, the Leet Street Boys, Matt Myers was one of the ones because he would do music for games. Um, would actually encourage me and would get me paid jobs doing voiceover early on. A lot of those gigs usually would pay, but the games would never come out. They'd become vaporware.
I love
But
vaporwave music.
but you know what? I mean, it was nice to be able to say that I got paid to do work on a game, even if the game never came out. And it's one of those things where it was just like, oh sweet, I'm doing voiceover, and it's just one of those because like growing up, you hear the voices and everything. I watched hours upon hours, countless, like myriads of cartoons and later on in high school like anime, hearing voices and imitating voices because I mean the funny thing is that like the voice, it's a tool, it's an instrument, you learn to play it as you experiment and everything. And one of my biggest influences growing up, one of my probably the biggest influence or I'd say the two biggest influences, Dave Coulier and Robin Williams.
Absolutely.
Massive vocal chameleons. Like these men could just change their voice at a at the drop of a hat, and it's something that I subconsciously aspired to do.
Well,
You know,
actually, to put even more emphasis on your point, I tend to really love guys who could change their voices at the drop of a hat. But at the same time, there are other people who I greatly admire as voice actors who just, for lack of a better word, they just do the same voice over and over again. And the two biggest examples I give of that, Patrick Warburton, H. John Benjamin.
yeah.
Both of
I
those,
mean, I have a lot of respect for the people who can also sell a voice that is either their talking voice, or as close to their talking voice as possible, or a character voice like Gilbert Godfrey.
yeah, I want this to come from me, folks, but Gilbert Godfrey's voice, that wasn't really his voice. It was a put on. Sorry. I know it's like saying Santa Claus isn't real, but
So
unfortunately,
I learned that one from Howard Stern.
that's right, as did I. Now, Jace is one of those people who can change their voice on a dot to sound like different people. And the
No,
biggest
Dot is a different character from the Animaniacs.
it's funny because it's true. The two big examples I give of that are when I did my infamous An American Tail Kerfluffle, Jace played Warren T. Rad, and he changed up his voice to sound just like Warren T. Rad, and it was fantastic. You know, he was able to pull that character off quite lovingly. And the other example I give is where he played Horribel, the evil wizard, in Tailor Made Hero, which was an even harder process because, as I've mentioned before, everybody did a separate recording and I had to patchwork it together like a big Frankenstein monster.
Hey, editing is tough work. So huge props to you for getting that done.
Yeah, after doing that one, I was just ready to like
Never again.
never well weep in a corner like an infant.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you.
No, but it's always very interesting because you've played heroes in my stuff. You've mostly actually played villains now that I think about it because you were Horribel the Wizard, you were Warren D. Rat, you were the guy who hated Christmas. What now?
I think it's because you like having me terrorize your young cast.
Yes, you traumatize everybody. They, or as my little buddy Owen Connors said, and he will be on an episode soon. You are the awesome bald guy who curses. Well, actually, let me get the quote exactly. The funny, awesome bald guy who said curses. I believe that was the exact quote that he made when you played Grace Duvall's father in the Young Sherlock Holmes. Let me ask you something, Jace. Do you prefer playing heroes or villains, or do you like both?
Honestly, I just like to get a reaction from people. It's one of those things where villains are fun, because you generally like it depends on how well they're written, because like if a villain is written well, and not like cliche wahaha I'm evil, then they're going to be a freaking riot to play. Um, you know, Likewise the hero. If the hero has good reason and good motivation to be the hero, and goes on a decent hero's journey, they're going to be a great character to play. Otherwise, neither one is going to be fun.
No. That's usually why, more often than not, if I ever do like readings of Disney movies, I love playing the villains because
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the villains are more entertaining. They have the better songs, at least in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah. No, they definitely have the better songs, I will say. I think with the exception of like a few instances here and there, like I can't remember the villain song in The Little Mermaid, but I can remember part of that world from Little Mermaid.
You know, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Poor Unfortunate Souls was a very
I
good song, and I think it's more because Pat Carroll just acted the shit out of that song, and you could tell she was having a
see, I
ball.
I can't remember it. But then again, I haven't seen Little Mermaid in like freaking 30 years. So that also goes to tell you, like, how much of an impression that stuck on me.
Well, I one of my earliest memories of watching Disney and being fascinated by the voice work, um, when I saw Lion King and just Jeremy Irons as Scar is just
Hmm.
mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah, that is a chef's kiss.
And the fact that well, actually, this brings up another point about voice work, how sometimes voice actors are extremely underappreciated.
Yeah.
Uh, Jeremy Irons blew out his voice recording that song, and somebody else popped in to replace him for the last verse,
Yeah.
Jim Cummings. But it's like
Yes.
it was just subtle enough where it's like, oh, Scar sounds slightly different, but still, it was enough
Scar
where it's
sounds
like,
suspiciously like Rasputin from Anastasia.
huh, this guy sounds suspiciously like Jim Cummings.
He sounds suspiciously like Darkwing Duck.
I am the terror that flaps in the night. I killed my brother, also almost killed my nephew. I love you, Jim Cummings. Yes. But
If he hadn't been so expensive, I probably would have gotten an autograph from him at Rhode Island Comic Con.
yes, that is right. You did go to Comic Con and you met Rob Paulson and
Yes,
you
yes,
told
his
him
name is Robert Paulson.
Robert Paulson and you told him the Jimmy Shrams.
Jimmy's mom.
Oh my goodness.
He got a
Let me
laugh out of that. He got a laugh out of that too.
okay, so to give you guys a little bit of a background on this, on the show that Michael Riley does, Backseat Gamer and all that good stuff, we just came up with this running gag of Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron just going, Jimmy Scribes got a projected job or something like that. And
it
it
was
just
it was something like that because like Billy one day decided to randomly quote the end card of the "Hi, I'm Paul," the
oh yeah, that
monkey.
our friend Billy Carter. Yes, I
Yeah,
remember.
and that just kind of triggered me into going the whole like Jimmy's mom's got a dog ass.
That's right, Jimmy Scribes. She's my little llama. And
I made her spit like a llama.
oh my god. Well, this episode's gonna get an M rating. Wait, what am I talking about? This is YouTube. Who gives a crap?
Oh man, that was really
That
brutal.
was really that was so freaking metal. What would you say was the first real like character voice that you developed in your voice acting career? Was it like an original take on something, or were you inspired by anybody specific?
I want to say it was probably imitating the stuff that I heard on CDs. Because and I still have the CDs actually. One of them is signed, because it got signed at Comic-Con by Rob Paulson, was the Animaniacs CD. The other one was Go Simpsonic with the Simpsons. I think I wore out that Animaniacs CD. I think that thing probably skips like an MF now. Because like just listening to that constantly growing up and singing along with the songs like Schnitzelbank and Don't Know What to Say, The Monkeys Won't Do, and you know,
Now
uh
this is too awkward.
Apple. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
You
man.
know, and just listening to those songs over and over again, and even noticing that some of the songs got changed from the CD to the TV version, like the one where they sing the ingredients to the candy bars and everything. Because in the CD, they go, "We like sweets a lot, but they make your insides rot." Whereas on the TV version, they go, "We like sweets a lot, so give us all you got." And
Hmm.
I was like, that right there is a massive Mandela moment. And it's like, no, no, no. The CD is different from the TV show. They changed it.
Cookie Monster did say his name was Sid. Okay, there is a song. But
But yeah, between Animaniacs and going Simsonic with The Simpsons, where like listening to that CD over and over again with certain things like uh the Sherry Bobbins episode where she sings the lullaby to Bart. So, now buy me a beer, 2 bucks a glass. Come on, help me, I'm freezing my ass. Buy me a brandy, a snifter of wine.
oh my kidding, I'll drink
I'll drink
turpentine.
turpentine. Move
Yeah,
it, you drunk, or I'll blast your rear end.
I found 2 bucks.
Come in, my friend.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, you know, stuff like that, where like I listened to it so much that I was just doing all the voices, you know, and later on into high school, it became listening to like the soundtrack of Avenue Q to the point where I was literally singing both Rod and Nikki practically at the same time, you know,
Ye-
as
Oh,
inhumanly impossible as that is. You
okay.
know?
So I'm glad you mentioned that because one of my favorite videos of Jason, what the what video service was it on where you basically duetted with yourself?
Oh, it was I think it was Smule.
Mule, there we go.
Yeah, yeah, the
So
karaoke app.
so Jason did the song "If You Were Gay,"
Yeah, yeah.
and he was both Nikki and Trekkie Monster.
No, it's
Oh,
it's Rod
Rod,
and
Rod.
Nikki. It's
Yeah,
Rod
there
and
you
Nikki going back and forth. So what should it matter to me what you do in bed with guys? Nikki, that is good. No, it's not.
go. Yeah, I think my favorite though was Nikki. I'm trying to read,
Yeah, because I've got the book in front of me.
and it was the Hyrule book.
It was one of the Zelda books, I think, or maybe it was a Borderlands book. One
Oh
of the
my,
two.
yes.
Yeah.
We
Broadway musicals of the 1940s. No roommate to bother me. How could it get any better than this? Oh, hi, Rob. Hi, Nikki.
I can I don't even have to say anything else because Jace could just do this entire episode of the voices. And I'm just sitting back like, this is like my
So,
ASMR. I love it.
so just sit your ass back and relax and cruise control is uh, unfortunately, like some voices do blow out your voice a little more than others. So it's like, you gotta do some things before others. Like doing Dot or Kate Monster is one of those that I would have to do early on in all of my impressions, before going
Right.
on to like say Trekkie Monster, like because I have done the internets for porn before, um, but I have to record the Kate Monster before Trekkie Monster because they are two radically different parts of my own voice. And after I do Trekkie Monster, yeah, I ain't going back up there again.
No, no, absolutely not. There's been some voices that I have done where it's like, listen, I will do this voice, but I can't do it long because it destroys my vocal cords. Like, I can't even, I don't know offhand which characters, but like, I did a Gilbert Godfrey impression.
Yep. Gilbert
That
Godfrey is
that
definitely a
kills
voice
me.
killer.
Bobcat
Yep.
Goldthwait, a Bobcat Goldthwait impression, I can only do it for a couple of seconds at most because if I try doing it for multi minutes, I gotta admit,
Gone.
I sound like this at the end.
Yeah.
So we are. I'm looking at the clock on the wall, and sadly, we are running out of time.
I'll admit that's why I've actually gone to using a soundboard for a lot of things is to try to save my vocal cords or for instances where I feel a little guilty making a reference or doing a voice that I used to do the impression of because you know it's not handled by a white guy anymore. So like
right.
I used to do an impression of Cleveland, all the time, and now I just resort to hitting a button. No, 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 no.
I've got to stop taking a shower when Peter's doing his shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Exactly. Because it's like, well, I could easily do the voice like this. It's like, yeah, but
It's
it's
just,
it just feels wrong, you
yeah.
know?
I used to do the Dr. Hibbert laugh, but as it's like, it just doesn't feel right anymore to do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yes, we are rapidly running out of time. As much as I would love to stay and chit chat for
Hey,
as
hey Dane,
long.
see that button in front of you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This button. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, could you press that button?
Oh, sure. Click.
Jason!
Jason, Jason, Jason. You caught me off. You caught me off guard with that one. I will readily admit that.
uh
So my last question to you, Jason, Jason, Jason,
Jason.
Jason, is anybody who would come to you to say, "Hey, Jason, I am looking to break into theater, performing, voice acting, whatever." What would be the piece of advice that you would give them in order to succeed?
Cut loose. Like honestly, you got to just have fun with it. So that's what it comes down to. I joke around about being shameless and I joke around about being cringe on the internet. Um and the thing is that maybe it's because of my background in improv comedy and stuff like that that lets me be the way that I am. Um and maybe this is the reason why I don't do theater as much as I prefer I prefer doing voiceover and recorded works more so because they allow for multiple takes. Um because I am a bit of a perfectionist, but it's the fact that you just got to have fun with it, and when you're with the right group of people, it all just clicks together. So hopefully when you're getting started in theater and everything, you find the right group of people, you find the right production of something with a good director and everything that really can unlock that spark within you, to bring the best out of you, somebody who believes in you, because honestly, in high school, I had one theater director who saw themselves in me, type of thing. It was one of those kind of funny coincidences where a local theater company did a production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and they played as Snoopy. And then my theater, like my school did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and I was Snoopy. And my guidance counselor, because I went to a very small high school, my guidance counselor's son was the guy that had played Snoopy in that previous performance is like, yeah, my son, he speaks so highly of you. He thinks you're gonna be phenomenal as Snoopy. I'm going like, really? And it takes the right kind of encouragement, I feel, and the right kind of environment, but it also takes the right kind of vibe of just kind of cutting loose and going, yeah, sure, whatever, and just kind of going with the flow, and I mean, yeah, and when all else fails, you just got to go nuts.
That's that's the way I see it. Absolutely. Well, Jason, my fine, talented friend, thank you very much for joining us on this episode. It was fun having you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the outro plays us out, as we are closing in on the end of the episode, I will say thank you very much to Jason, and thanks all of you for tuning in to this, and we'll see you next week on our next episode. Good night.
Goodbye, Shogo!
These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know. These are the performers I know.